Speedbird 232, right heading 235, and report localizer established runway 27 left, Speedbird 232.
Hello everybody and welcome back again to another video. Today we will be doing probably the most anticipated video or flight that everybody kinda wanted. It is without a doubt the PMDG747 Queen of the Skies fully loaded flight. So without further ado, let's jump in. So today we are actually located on San Francisco, and we will be taking the aircraft from the west to the east of the country today to Washington in a 4 hours flight almost. So first of all, as usual, we're gonna start with the payload here. So we're almost fully loaded in terms of passengers. So we'll do 541.9er on the zero fuel weight, and that is 99.7% on the load. We'll go ahead and change the fuel on board to match the envelope. So 122.4 is our fuel needed for our flight today, and that is set. So we'll go ahead and do our position initialization here. So Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Oscar and Kilo Sierra Foxtrot Oscar, Kilo India Alpha Delta, and we're gonna send the request for our route and wait for it to load. So with that's been done, I really think that we are on our way to get started here. So we're gonna load our route and get started with our flight. So uplink is loading. And we're gonna go ahead and activate that. Our flight number will be Uniform Alpha Lima 472. When data uplink ready, we'll do that later on. Our departure runway will be 28 left and execute. So performance initialization, I'm gonna go ahead and load my wind data here. So descent forecast is ready, although we will load more descent forecast later on. So we'll go back to that later on. So performance initialization, our reserves today will be, let's see here, so 15,000 is our fuel reserves. Cost index of 30, cruising altitude of flight level 350. Gross weight will be 663.6. On my sheets, 66.4 will do. Thrust limitation will do derated takeoff 1 with 62 degrees Celsius and the flex temp. For the takeoff, we'll take flaps 10 and we'll do 149er, 156, 164. So 164, heading 280, and that is set. We'll come back in here and so 6.5 on the trim there. I'm gonna go ahead and do my departure. So it's going to be Turkin 2, execute legs, and we're gonna remove the discontinuity here, execute, and we are good to go. So with that being done, I'm gonna go ahead to the overhead panel here and get some switches started. So hydraulic, we're gonna go aux, wait for the light, then auto for the remaining hydraulic pumps in there. I'm gonna go ahead and switch my beacon light to both as we're around to actually start our engines. Fuel pumps can go on. I'm gonna remove the fuel X feed. Let's do 3440. If I can't get the overhead panel to show again. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch all my packs because I'm doing a dual engine start today to save some time. So with that is being done, we can go ahead and call for our pushback. So transponder clocks, PFD, auto brakes are set to RTO. Before starting in, we should call for the pushback. So prepare for pushback at departure. We're gonna use our United Airlines there and nose to the left. Yes, so nose to the left. This is 28 left there. And that is done. So hydraulic demands, pumps, we have that on aux. Fuel system is set and checked. Seatbelt sign can come to on. Performance data check and set. V2, LNAV, VNAV are armed. Engine displays are selected. Beacon lights both on. So I'm gonna go ahead and have those on. As I have read, yeah, so we have more in the main 2 and main 3 than the 1 and 4. So that will require the extra 2 pumps there. So release park and brakes. So we're going to start 3 and 4 at the same time since we have enough pneumatic power to actually do that. So engine displays page here. So still no fuel flow into rotation there. And we have fuel flow coming up. And those engines actually take more time to spool than your regular engines. Very lovely scenery from Flightbeam. This is version 2 that have been just updated 2 days ago, guys. So oil pressure is coming up. EGT is good. So we're waiting for the N2 to hit 50%. So 50% starts our cutoff. So that is good. Engine 2 then 1. Lights came on. Fuel controls to idle. Very lovely high bass engine sounds there, if we can actually. I don't know if you guys can hear them very well. So again, they take some time to actually spool up. Sit, park and brake. So 50% coming on the into there. So 50% starts our cutouts and we're good. So we have good starts on all of the engines there. And since they are stabilized, we can go ahead and do after the start kind of checklist. So for taxi checklist, we'll go auto on all hydraulics pumps, ABU can come off, packs can come on to cool with the passengers. Anti-systems are not needed today. Aft cargo heat is on. Ground equipment are getting removed. And we're gonna go ahead and do our flaps and stab trim and flight controls check in no time. So trim is 6.5. Flaps are set to 10. And we'll do flight controls check. So full left, full right, full up, full down, full left, full right, and neutral. So with that's been done, we are looking very good. So we're gonna go ahead and wait for the ground equipment to clear, switch on the taxi lights and get going. So one last look at the overhead panel here. So I'm gonna go ahead weather and turbulence on the weather radar there. TARA as set. And here's it goes. Taxi light can come on. And we are ready to taxi. So park and brake released. Clear on the right. Clear on the left. And start taxi. I'm still not very good at taxiing this beast with such narrow taxiways. I mean, I would assume you would need to actually switch off or even not start engine number 1 and 4 so you don't end up with so many debris running around the runway and the engines. But we went ahead and started all our engines there. Very tricky to taxi, honestly. So we're going to taxi out to 28 left. It's not that far away. So cabin is ready. Gonna give it more power here. So auto throttle is armed. Transponder TIRA, and we'll wait for the takeoff clearance. And once we are on the runway, we're going to announce we are cleared for takeoff. So very narrow taxiway here, honestly. And I would have switched off number 1 and 4 in real life. So if you look at how far is the number 1 and 4, you will see them very close to actually suck in every debris on the taxiway there. So you can see here some oily spots. So coming up is our hold short for 28 left. I'm gonna do my best to taxi the 747 through this taxiway here. So that's our whole short point there.
28 left.
So approaching 28 left, we'll stop here. Taxi lights can come off, landing lights are on. Strobe light can come on, logo light can come on. And we're good to go. So runway is clear. Hopefully I don't overshoot it. So nicely centered here. Start the watches in here. And we are cleared for takeoff. So 50% on the N1. Stable. And gonna go Taga. So thrust is set 1.36 at the Eber. Throttle hold 80 knots, maintaining that center line. Getting a little bit shaky. So V1, rotate. So positive rate, gear up. So 1,000 feet. So our thrust reduction is coming up. So nose will drop a little bit to clean the aircraft. So flaps 5. Gonna trim it a little bit more. Flaps 1. Flaps up. So autopilot engage. We're gonna go 350 on the altitude, assuming we have been cleared to that altitude. Very mighty aircraft. So after takeoff and climb check, basically gear lever up and off. LNAV, VNAV are on, flaps are up, exterior light are set. And can go ahead and, since we are almost equal on the fuel there, so fuel tank for engine is off. I'm going to make the passengers enjoy the flight today and switch off seatbelt signs since we are in a very good shape, honestly. So we can go ahead and see actually how much time is remaining. So we're almost so 30 and so 4 hours to go, around 4 hours and 20 minutes, which is very good. So our next waypoint here going to be Typer, and we will be 109.9 depending on reading from the sheet here. So that is almost perfect. Time wise is on the dot, so very good indeed. So we're going to get relaxed and enjoy the beautiful scenery of the San Francisco area until we are at the top of descent to resume our flight and approach to Washington. So please stay tuned. Hello guys, and welcome back again. We are at the approach phase of our flight today, and you might actually see how bad the weather is approaching Washington. Hence I started the descent video too early, and I'm not actually happy about the weather, but we are going to see some stuff in here. So probably we're gonna do some more weather deviation around the area there. So I'm gonna go ahead with seatbelts on for the gentleman in the back, since it's going to get a little bit bumpy here. So all those are the weather cells that you guys are seeing in here. Let's do 40 miles and see how bad it looks. I mean, honestly, I was not really prepared for such weather, but it's good to have an idea how the 747 will actually handle such bad weather. Wow. Okay. So yeah, it's going to get very interesting in a bit, gentlemen. So I'm seeing some space in here, so probably gonna end up taking that. So yeah, I'm gonna switch to heading mode and try to guide myself through the cells in here. Very interesting, gentlemen. So as you might see, very gorgeous reflections on the engines there. The flight wise is not looking as promising as I wish, but this is part of the fun, I guess. So approaching 18,000, we'll do our altimeters in a second. So 2976, and the wind is gusting at 18 knots. So yeah, we'll have a good experience with landing in a crosswind conditions. Those are some serious hills there. So what I'm actually trying to do is get under some of those small cells to actually manage our way to the runway there. It's a little bit bumpy. Yeah, I'm thinking to get actually around that big cell and maybe manage my way into the runway from the north side there. We'll see how that will goes. So approach checklist, altimeters are set, prepare for landing. Landing lights will come at 10,000. Minimums are set. Auto brakes are set to level 2. I'm gonna run through my numbers here and see if I should put it to 3. And we'll wait for the landing checklist there. So the FPS is getting a little bit hammered by so many clouds in the area. Man, the clouds are looking very gloomy looking because of that precipitation going on. I have never, honestly guys, been in such bad weather before. So it's going to be a first. So let's see if I have my numbers good in here. So my theory is to actually get in here and find my way under those cells into the runway there. A little bit optimistic, honestly. Yeah, you can see how bad it's looking down there, guys. So we're gonna go a little bit to the right in here and then see if we can manage our way to the star approach point there. So 10,000 feet, gonna switch my landing lights. And we're seeing some ground in there, so that's good. Getting bumpy, gentlemen. So yeah, we have been we are being hit by a serious turbulence there, guys. So I'm going 3000 for the sake of actually getting under those cells, which honestly looked very promising from distance there. I mean, this is very intense, gentlemen. So we're still managing our way between the two cells that I was talking about earlier. So I'm gonna fly straight and then join the star there.
2500.
So 2500, we're gonna remain at this altitude basically until we clear those clouds. So we're still managing our way between the cells there. I'm gonna go with auto brake 3 and hopefully we don't do a missed approach, because the weather is not actually looking very good. I mean, at this point I would have done some holding pattern in real life to wait for the weather to get a little bit better than this. So probably I'm gonna join the star in here. Do some LNAV, VNAV again. Try to actually have the maximum length when it comes to that turn. So again, guys, this is actually tilted 3 degrees above. So what we are looking at is probably at our level or above us. So I'm looking visually to see if we are actually going to be hit by any area there. So again, heading select, trying to squeeze myself between those lines in there, between two cells. So we should start descending very shortly. So I'm gonna go ahead with heading select here, probably to aid on that. So here it comes, our turn localizer is alive, and I'm gonna do flaps 5 and hope for the best, guys. So I'm gonna keep my speed a little bit above, just in case we have been hit by some wind shear.
25.
So 2500, gear down, flaps 10. So landing checklist, flight attendants notified, gear lever down and green light, speed brakes are armed, flaps 30, green light, and landing checklist is completed. So my hand are on the toggle switch, honestly, in case of a wind shear. So coming up should be our glide slope fix there. Okay, let's hope for the best, gentlemen. As autopilot will be disconnected very soon. I'm gonna keep the aircraft to trim itself basically at my throttle settings here. So glide slope alive, we are going in. And you might guys see how the wind is actually, we have an 18 knots to 23 knots gusting wind. And visibility is kind of rough in there. So are we going to do full ILS 3 landing? I hope not.
1,000.
So 1,000 to go.
Approaching 19 left.
So as you might see, we're actually approaching the runway with kinda 25 knots crosswind there. So I have controls, minimums, and continue.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Whew. So gentlemen, we have made it down and safe to Washington. And that was an intense approach, gentlemen, and I have never experienced such a thing. So we made it, and you can see or not see actually our terminal there. And with that's being done, I hope you guys enjoyed our interesting flight that we have made today with the fully loaded PMDG747 through the worst weather I have ever experienced in the flight sim. So with that in mind, please, if you did like this video, hit the like and subscribe button there. Give me some support, and hope to see you in the next video, gentlemen. Take care.